Yeah. Some of the stuff Greer says is so crazy, and he's like a guy who he's really easy to dismiss.
Let's see, I've got that printout papers there for you.
Which ones?
It should be below the rain sown stuff.
These.
Yeah, if you want to pull that up.
But like, I mean, he's been on this stuff for so long.
He has, and he's never produced anything of actual worth. There you go. There's a good one. I thought you might appreciate that. May not be something you want to put.
Emily and Stephen Greer, Haifa, Israel. Emily Kramer and Stephen Greer were married Saturday at Baha'i World Center. The bride is the daughter of Miss Douglas Kramer of Palm Beach, Florida, and the late Dr. Cromler. She graduated from the University of Pennsylvania and received a master's degree in occupational therapy from Boston University. She was employed by the Peace Corps in Barbados. The bridegroom is the son of Mr. and Mrs. James Greer of 1201 Princeton Avenue. He attended the Appalachian State University and is employed in the Information Processing Department at Baha'i World Center. After a trip through Israel, the couple will live in Haifa and work at the Baha'i World Center.
Yep. That's the original marriage notice. Baha'i was regarded as an intelligence gathering operation for Mossad.
And Stephen Greer worked for these people.
And he worked for them. He started with those people. Then he got funded.
This is before he was an emergency room doctor?
You know, I've done a lot of research on Stephen Greer. I don't want to make any claims that get me in any kind of trouble about Stephen Greer, but it doesn't look to me like he had enough time to even do medical school and a residency. And certainly the old newspaper articles don't refer to him as Dr. Greer. It's like he goes right into UFO stuff. So if he worked, there's indication he worked for a very short time at a small hospital in western North Carolina and then went directly into shilling UFOs for Rockefeller.
Holy shit.
Now, if you go to the next page, that's one you might not want to. Don't say
rights.
It out loud. No, you don't want to say it.
Why can't I say it?
Okay.
Rights,
it's your podcast, man.
Rights of homosexuals, opposite opinions, the National AIDS Hysteria Awareness Test. Okay. We thank you for publishing Associated Press coverage of the October 11th March on Washington for gay and lesbian civil rights. However, as part of our 75 marchers from Asheville, we would like to correct the important inaccuracy. Okay, so what is this about?
So that's an op-ed piece that Stephen Greer wrote about himself, and you can see the highlighted portions there.
Okay. Oh, the highlighted portions. We feel that the struggle for our civil rights as gay and lesbian citizens is intricately linked to all struggles against racism, sexism, and anti-Semitism in the country and worldwide. We have fought and died for this country. We are its doctors. Signed by Dr. Stephen M. Greer, MD of Asheville.
Now, I have absolutely nothing against homosexual rights, anything like that. I completely agree with the premise.
Yeah.
But if someone's living a double life and doesn't bring that out and own that in this world, and you want to be believed about briefing the CIA and the president and all these people on UFOs, that's a little. His early life doesn't add up to me. Yeah. And look at the date on that versus the marriage.
He's not Jewish, is he?
I don't know. It may be.
Well, yeah, what's the date? Where's the date? Oh, October 16th, 1987.
And when's the marriage?
The marriage was...
I think you put it down.
The marriage was August 30th, 1979. Wow.
So what's his story? It doesn't add up if you go through old newspaper archives. That's all I can say. I don't want to editorialize it or give my opinion about, but he has never presented anything that worked out. The little Atacama alien, the any of that. He has been saying the same shit for decades and being given a platform, almost like a behavioral conditioning program.
Every one of his podcasts does millions of views too.
Is it organic? One thing I've noticed with social media.
It might be, but it might. Yeah.
A lot of bots. A lot of bots.
A lot of bots.
A lot of media companies that will push you and make you look like you're bigger than you are, but it's hollow engagement. I've
been noticing so many of these bots lately. Yeah. There's like I I feel like lately, I don't know how else to say this, but it seems like anti-Semitism is in vogue right now on social media.
Certainly, yeah.
I watched a video, a clip from the Joe Rogan podcast the other day, and it was like him and a bunch of his buddies talking about the JFK files or whatever. And then one of, I forget which one, I think it was Ar Shafir maybe, brought up all like the Israel connections in the JFK files that just came out.
Sure.
And then Joe said something else or whatever. And almost every fucking comment in that episode was like, essentially like, if anyone ever mentions JFK and doesn't bring up Israel, I don't believe you anymore. And it's all like, Joe's a nop because it changed the subject when this guy brought up Israel. It's like, Israel is behind everything now.
Yeah, you'll see a lot of hateful stuff jump up in the comments that looks like, you know, you look into the person posting it and they don't even have a real account.
Yeah. My point is it doesn't feel organic.
No,
it feels unnatural.
You can't not look into socioeconomic and world global issues and not see the Mossad in some things.
100%.
Of course.
Of course.
But that is not to take it into everything. It's just, if the data's not there, then you shouldn't be looking for phantoms just as a boogeyman to look for. But certainly Mossad was into a lot of shit that they shouldn't have been, including, you asked about Puharish and Uri Geller. Puharish went over to Israel and met with Uri Geller at the behest of a Mossad colonel, met him, was hooked up with him to bring out and bring over to the United States. James Randi, there's indication that he may have been part of two sides to that same op that would go back and forth on one another in the media to discredit the whole thing. But Puharish came back and started doing his testing on children the same week. And that was after his trip to Israel. It's like somebody gave him the green light. And it's like, who the fuck is running this?
You know, my mind is always going overdrive on this Israel stuff too. And it makes me wonder about this sort of like deep state war, if you want to call it that, over Donald Trump. And if there's one thing that we know is absolutely true, is that the CIA hates the Mossad. The CIA and the Mossad do not get along.
Is that like obvious to all of us? Because it looks to me like they're two sides of the same coin.
It's pretty obvious to me talking to a lot of former CIA operators. And when I ask them about Israel and when I ask them about the Mossad, it's just constant fucking frustration with these people.
It may be, yeah. I hate thinking that the CIA are traitors. I would love to believe that there are actually patriotic people within these organizations and that they're as frustrated with shit, Epstein's, as we are. I don't know. I don't know Bustamante. You know, I don't know any of the people you've had on the podcast. I couldn't tell you, but like, damn, it's a dark world where you think that you need to look over your shoulder even at your own people that are supposed to protect you. And I don't know.